We are in the middle of an unprecedented pandemic. We're experiencing one of the nation's worst health and economic crises. And now we're facing a mail crisis. And we're just months away from an election where we expect record numbers of Americans to vote by mail. For many communities in Michigan and across the country, the Postal Service has always been a lifeline, especially for the communities where private carriers simply don't deliver. Whether folks are receiving important medications, financial documents, critical home supplies, or simply trying to stay in touch with their loved ones, the Postal Service has always delivered. But Mr. DeJoy, I don't think you have. You have not delivered in this brief tenure so far. For more than 2 centuries, Americans have been able to count on the Postal Service. But in less than 2 months as Postmaster General, you have undermined one of our nation's most trusted institutions, and we wreaked havoc on families, on veterans, seniors, rural communities, and on people all across our country. The operational changes you implemented without consulting with your customers or the public have caused significant delays that have hurt people across the nation, delays that come at a time when people depend on reliable service now more than ever. In July, I started hearing reports about how severely your changes were slowing down the mail. I asked you for answers, but it wasn't until I launched an investigation that you admitted that you had directed these changes yourself. And despite multiple requests, it took more than 1 month to respond directly. And I'm still not satisfied with those explanations. You have brushed off these delays, calling them inevitable, a side effect of your vision for the Postal Service. But let me tell you about the people who are forced to bear the brunt of your decisions. Beth from Ada, Michigan, works for a company that produces educational materials for healthcare workers. Beth's company started seeing serious delivery problems and switched to overnight shipping, which has almost doubled their shipping cost. And between these delays and the pandemic, they have had to lay off multiple employees to help absorb these costs. Mary from Redford said her daughter has been getting her epilepsy medication through the mail, usually in 3 to 4 days. But because of changes you ordered, her latest refill shipped on July 20th, and it took 9 days to be delivered. When Mary's daughter realized the medication wasn't going to arrive on time, she tried to ration what few pills that she had left. And as a result, she suffered seizures and was transported to a hospital. These are just a few of my constituents who have shared their stories as part of my investigation. I have received more than 7,500 reports of delays from people across Michigan and across the country in just 2 weeks. They have written to me about skipping doses of their medication and their small businesses losing customers or having to lay off employees, all because of changes that you directed. Mr. Chairman, I move to enter into the hearing record an update on what my investigation is finding.
Without objection.
Mr. DeJoy, your decisions have cost Americans their health, their time, their livelihoods, and their peace of mind. I believe you owe them an apology for the harm you have caused, and you all of us, some very clear answers today. The country is anxious about whether the damage you have inflicted so far can be quickly reversed, and what other plans you have in store that could further disrupt reliability and timely delivery from the Postal Service. If you plan to continue pursuing these kinds of changes, I think my colleagues and many of our constituents will continue to question whether you are the right person to lead this indispensable institution.